Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. Welcome back to another video. Have you guys ever battled with being someone's inspiration, someone's motivation? I can relate to being the muse in a lot of people's lives. And this is a blessing and a curse because to be able to inspire people is a huge gift and it's a skill. And to be able to influence people is a blessing and a gift and a skill. But what often happens when you are that girl, when you are gorgeous as well as smart and you have a great personality, these people will admire you while also disliking you. And they will oftentimes be very inspired by the way you do your hair, by the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you captivate a room when you walk into it. They'll be inspired by your passion. So if you have a passion or a desire to live a certain lifestyle or to work in a certain field or to make an impact in some type of way, they will be inspired by this while at the same time hating you for being the person who. So if they have limiting beliefs, if they suffer from inferiority complexes and their abilities are stunted due to their mindset, but you don't carry those same limiting beliefs and your mindset is very much focused on what you can do, what you can achieve, you're positive, you live in optimism, these people will hate you for that. And I've experienced this a lot of times with coworkers who would follow me on social media and find out what I'm up to and what I'm doing outside of work because I'm very busy outside of work and was always busy outside of school, just with my own passions and my own projects and things like that, and just chasing my dreams. And I would remember I recently had a coworker, and this has happened multiple times in the past, but more recently, I had a coworker who added me on Instagram and wasn't really interested in any of the things that I was interested in, or wasn't really doing any of the things to the level that I was doing them. And suddenly, once she got a glimpse into my life and what I'm about and what I'm into and what I do, suddenly she had this huge drive and passion to go post very often and post in the same ways I would post and do the same things I was doing. And if you let it get to you, it can really mess with your head because it makes you feel like what makes you special and what you're into is just up for grabs for everyone. And it's also very distracting. So I think that's the spiritual side of the copycat spirit and women who enjoy trying to outdo you is they're hoping that in outdoing you and competing with you, and they know that you're going to pick up on it. So they know that they're going to do it in a way that is almost like silent mockery. So they're doing this because they want you to be distracted from what you're doing. They want you to feel like what you're doing isn't that hard, what you're doing isn't that special, and that they can do it too. And so they're hoping to knock you off of your pedestal and to take you off of your pivot because when you're focused and you're in your mode and you're doing your purpose, no one can stop you. And so copycat spirits know that if they can try to do what you're doing and make it very loud that they're doing what you set out to do or what you plan to do or what you are already doing, they know that that will create some type of distraction within you, and their hope is that it'll discourage you from doing what you're already doing so they can win and outdo you and prove to you that you're not that special and you're not that good. And so it is a very sinister thing when you take a step back and look at it from a broad spectrum because there's a lot of underlying motives that these people have when they try to compete with you and do what you do. And it's not as simple as, oh, they're just inspired by you. Imitation is the biggest form of flattery. I don't believe in that. And I've spoken about this in my videos in the past. I don't believe in that rhetoric because someone trying to copy you to a T is actually spiritual warfare. And it is a huge distraction and it is meant to make you feel like you can't do what you're supposed to be doing. Let's say, for example, you are very body positive and you love yourself openly and loudly, and you just happen to exude that when you post on social media or when people meet you in person. People will admire you and be in awe of you and be very inspired by your self-love and the way that you show up for yourself and take care of yourself and the way that you perceive your body and your beauty. But at the same time, if they're lacking in those areas, they will overcompensate in their life and try to outdo you because they look at you as the pinnacle of success, as the pinnacle of beauty, as the pinnacle of desirability. And so, since they feel internally that they're lacking those things, they will make you a target for competition. I've had many friends who I love dearly and who I would give my last dollar to, who I knew for years, who turned out to try to outdo me and compete with me. And a lot of times it was little stupid things like if I went to get my hair done, they would have to go get their hair done. If I bought something, they would have to go buy something to one up me. And it's all just a secret competition that they're having with themselves. And it's really confusing because the whole time you're just trying to love this person and be a friend to them, and they're concerned about getting over on you and how to one up you and how to show you that they can do what you're doing even better than you. And it's sad because these people don't realize that they could never be you. That's what they're not realizing. No matter how many times you copy me, no matter how many times you go and get what I get, you will not be me. And so you will never be happy. And that's the thing that these people are like not realizing, and that's the cognitive dissonance piece, is that they will never be happy because they are constantly looking for something to compete with you about. So if their whole life and their whole motive is to outdo you, they'll be outdoing you or trying to outdo you for the rest of their lives. And they know this, but something in them is not allowing them to just be their authentic, genuine self. Something in them feels like they have to do these things in order to feel fulfilled, in order to feel like they are just as good as you. And if anything, this should just show you that you are on a pedestal in their minds. So people wouldn't feel the need to compete with you if they didn't think that you were better than them. And I want to encourage my exoticals out there who have dealt with friends or family or coworkers who have tried to outdo them in the workplace, tried to outdo them in school or in just activities outside of school and work. I want to encourage you ladies to put your foot on those women's necks. Put them on there even harder. So if they were copying you and trying to outdo you in what you wear and how you do your hair, turn it up a notch. That's what I've been practicing for the last few years after I realized that I had frenemies and people who called themselves my friend but were really just in my life to study me and to use me for their mood boards. I realized that I do myself a disservice when I shrink myself down to lift them up, when I try to dull my shine so that they can shine. And I do myself a disservice when I allow their efforts to get to me, meaning if I allow them competing with me or trying to outdo me and having silent competition with me, make me go into hermit crab mode and not want to show myself or be creative or put myself out there because I'm tired of people competing with me when I'm just trying to live, I realize that you're letting them win when you do that. So now I'm walking in this energy of I don't care, I'm going to be loud and proud, and I'm going to put my foot on your neck even harder. So if you were copying me and competing with me and trying to outdo me when it comes to my bubbly personality or when it comes to me being mysterious, because I have two sides of me. I'm an ambivert, so I can be very extroverted, but I can also be very introverted. But you'll be surprised. People will try to compete with you and outdo you when it comes to your own damn personality. Why? I don't know, but it's a very sick thing when you witness it because it's like, you can't be me. You can't take on my personality. You can't take on who I am. I am who I am. You are who you are. And that's the thing with these people. They don't know themselves yet. And because they don't know themselves or want to do the work to know themselves, they siphon the identities of all the people who they come in contact with. So one thing that I'm doing to combat this is I'm leaning more into the person who I am, unapologetically. I am not going to hide myself. I am not going to dim myself down. I'm not going to do less so that they don't have any, because I remember I used to have this mentality like if I'm not on social media as much or if they're not seeing what I'm doing, they can't try to compete with me, they can't try to outdo me, or they can't try to one up me because they have no idea what's going on in my life. But that doesn't matter because they're still somewhere trying to do you better than you because you are their inspiration. And that's the thing, a lot of these people started as your friends. I know with a lot of exoticals, we've dealt with a lot of people who've come into our lives as friends, and they turn out to be people who were simply just jealous of us and wanted our lives and wanted our identities and wanted our personalities. And so what's the easiest way to get someone's personality or identity. It's to befriend them so you can get to know them, get to know what they do, so that they can go frolic into the sunset and embody who you naturally are. So if you know people are doing that, and if people have come into your life and done that multiple times, clearly you have a light on you. Clearly you're that girl. Clearly you need to lean into that more and capitalize off of it. I don't believe in shrinking myself down anymore because other people want to steal from me. There's a saying that goes, robbers don't steal from empty houses. People don't steal from empty houses. People steal and take from houses that are full. When you stop doing what it is that you were doing before, that they were admiring or inspired by, it makes them feel like they won. And you never want to make the enemy feel like they've won. When you decide to not let up and you keep your foot on people's necks and you realize that if you could inspire and influence people like that, that means that you have a gift, you will lean into that gift even more and capitalize off of it and set yourself up to win and make them even more mad. So ladies, drop down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts, and I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.